Hello, I am your host, Montana Leahy. We are back on Moments with Montana. Today I am joined by my lovely sister, Adrian. Hi, sis. How are ya?
I'm good. I'm here.
Good. I know, it took a while.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. My schedule's packed.
I know. You're a nurse,
Yes.
so that's a lot of things. That's busy.
Long days,
Mhm.
12-hour shifts. And like with my commute, it's like 14 hours. So
Yeah.
pretty much just sleep and work.
Just
and then
easy.
see you on my days off every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. So how are you?
I'm good. I'm tired today because I just worked like the last 2 weeks straight. But
Yeah.
happy to have 3 days off.
Well, and we haven't talked in, seems like 5 days, so we would have a lot to talk about on
Yeah.
the pod. So how, just work's busy? Anything else fun and exciting going on?
No, that's my husband's birthday on Tuesday. So we're going to like go out to dinner in the city or something. Fun date.
Yeah, good. How old is he now?
34.
Wow.
Old man.
Yeah, definitely. That's so funny. Well, good. You said that you watched the Kardashians, the first episode.
Yeah, I really liked it. I liked the aesthetic a lot, where
Yeah.
they like flash between each sister and like.
Yeah,
I don't know, it's good.
I thought that was really good too. And it's just, the image quality is so nice. And I love seeing the kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I really liked seeing the girls with their kids and like how the kids interacted and like one of the kids was like being a brat and they still showed it. And I thought that was funny.
Yeah, exactly. And then when Saint came over, he just is so funny. He was
I
like
know.
laughing and just, Kim was freaking out and he was just, did you see that part?
Yeah, well, I also every time they showed Saint, like I couldn't help but think like he's literally mini Kanye.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
they're twins.
Yeah, 100%.
And yeah, he like has the exact same smile as him.
I know. Did you see when Chris is talking to North?
Oh, about all her activities?
Yeah.
How she's like, you're busier than me.
Chris just was so funny. She said, "Oh, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
And North's like, "Well, I have stuff going on." Oh, you're busier than me. But Chris just seemed like she was talking to a client, not like her granddaughter.
Yeah. I mean, it was clearly like probably all very staged.
Yeah.
But I really liked the drone footage too,
Yeah.
like showing their house and everything.
I'm excited to see how the season goes
Me too.
because I've only watched the first episode so far.
I haven't even finished the first episode, but I think it's the third episode. They're gonna go behind the scenes of Kim at SNL, and us Leahy girls
Love
love
SNL.
So really excited to see that behind the scenes. I did see a blooper that there's like a really awkward exchange between Kim and Colin Jost, which I'm excited to see.
I saw that too, but it didn't seem awkward.
Oh, okay.
It seemed like they were in love or something like that.
Maybe it's awkward for the viewer.
Yeah, I don't know. But one of our favorite podcasts that we listen to, they don't love SNL as much as us. So when they were talking about that, how they're going to talk about SNL on the show, they were like, oh my God, we don't even care. Like, why are they making it such a big deal about SNL? Meanwhile, you and I are like, oh my God, yay, finally SNL talk.
Yeah, literally on someone's podcast, they were talking about how Tyler Cameron missed his best friend's wedding to be on Kim's episode of SNL.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess he got a bunch of hate for it. But literally, I'd miss your wedding.
Yeah,
SNL.
yeah, definitely. If somebody you knew that was hosting SNL and I would probably leave my wedding too.
Yeah, to be on it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If I had tickets, I'd be like, can I please exchange them for next week? But
definitely.
To be on it,
no, that's
the wedding can get rescheduled.
Exactly. That's different. I know. Okay, so SNL, have you been watching it lately?
Well, I keep falling asleep.
Yeah.
So I think I didn't finish the end of the last episode, which I believe was maybe Zoe Kravitz.
No, it was Lizzo.
Oh, Lizzo. No, I finished Lizzo's episode. That was good. She laughed a lot. Like, she kept breaking, which I always think is funny, but some people, it pisses me off.
I think that's the funniest part.
Yeah.
When you're laughing, everyone else is laughing.
Yeah, my favorite was when she was twerking.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, and her musical, well, I guess she was a musical guest, but...
Well, it was funny how she introduced herself.
Yeah.
She was like, ladies and gentlemen, Lizzo.
Yeah.
And then, like, she
went
jumped on stage.
Yeah. But I don't know. I know that you and I both tend to skip through the musical guests, but I watched hers. I thought it was good.
I didn't, because Xander would not watch.
Well, I watched most of it, and then I skipped through. Got a little bored. I'm not saying this is boring, but,
Yeah.
Speak of the devil. Well, good. Yes, lots of content. What else have you been watching lately?
Oh, well, I just watched Severance on Apple TV,
Oh, I
and
started that.
oh, it's so good. Okay, everyone says it's boring and like when's it get better? I thought it was good from the beginning,
Yeah.
but it definitely gets way better like after the fourth episode.
Okay, I'm
So
on the third episode right now.
yeah, it's like so good. Like when it ended, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this is over. I need to know what's gonna happen next season.
Yeah.
And I really like the actor Adam Scott
Mhm.
from Parks and Rec,
Mhm.
so that was good.
I know. I started watching it on the plane home from Hawaii just because that I downloaded the first few
Oh yeah,
episodes. And at first I was so confused and
yeah.
had no idea what was going on. But then as I got into it a little bit more, but I'm still only on the third episode. But I don't really want to watch it alone. I feel like it's a little spooky.
I mean,
But
it's fine to watch alone. There are definitely like spooky parts, but like never fear. It's
yeah,
okay. It's okay to watch alone.
I just feel like it's maybe like too real
Yeah,
about what possible, like kind of like a Black Mirror episode.
yeah. It is kind of like Black Mirror.
So Xander is here now trying to watch us just talk.
You have a real mic and everything.
Yeah, it's my senior project. I have to go all out. So yeah, he's watching us.
Xander's my husband.
The
He's known
30,
Montana since she was like
50,
14 or 15 years
yeah,
old.
young. Oh, we're 9 years apart, by the way,
Oh yeah,
if you couldn't tell, which
it's
you can't.
Montana's favorite party trick.
Yep.
Asking people who's older.
Yeah, honestly, we went out to the bars in San Francisco one time, and different guys would come up to us to just try to talk and chat, thinking that we were two single women, just out on the town. And the first thing I said to each of them was, "Who do you think is older?" Because, like, however they answer that question, they're set up, no matter what. And it was fun.
Yeah, most people contemplated it a long time
Yeah.
before answering, and there's only like a 50% success rate.
Exactly. And it's funny because a few people did say that I was older, just because in that moment I was definitely like leading.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm like not trying to talk to guys at bars,
Yeah.
especially when they're all like 10 years younger than me and
Yeah.
they're married.
and I was trying to talk to guys at bars because they're my age and I'm single. So
And you're like about to move away
Yeah.
and like just like to meet new people.
yeah, exactly. So and I'm very big people person, but good. He's gone
Yeah.
now.
That was fun. Yeah, he went away. We lost our audience.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have a viewer. Maybe he'll watch
Or
or listen.
or maybe Lincoln will join us next. He's my dog.
Who's her son?
My child.
Yeah, my Neff dog. Which that term is. Oops.
Copyrighted.
Yeah, by Abby. So
Oh, she made that up?
yeah,
I didn't know that.
because her sister has a dog, and no
Oh, yeah.
kids, and so she's like, "Oh, it's my Neff dog," which I just think is really funny. I think that's a great name
Yeah.
for.
I mean, I
dog.
think it's silly, but
There's
have
a-
you been watching much about the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard
Okay,
trial?
So all the news about that I'm getting is from the Morning Toast because Claudia talks about how she sees it all over TikTok,
Oh, okay.
which the Morning Toast is the podcast I mentioned earlier that we both love.
Mhm.
Kind of my idea for this podcast of my own as my senior project. I just love them. I see myself in her a lot. She's just so funny and great. So yeah, anyways, I've only been getting my news from that because anytime I'm on TikTok and I see it, I just have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
So I just scroll. But
So you heard about how like they released in court that she like took a shit on his side of the bed,
yeah,
and he like took photos of it, and then she claimed it was like their teacup Yorkie that did it, and
Yeah.
it was definitely like a human sized shit.
yeah.
And so now like people are like calling it like the Heard turd.
Oh no. And
I
also
was, like,
how
dying, like what an evil thing to
how
do
could
to
you even
someone.
say that is a Yorkie?
Yeah.
Like any human sized shit is gonna be incredibly bigger than a
Yeah.
Yorkie.
And it was just like cracking me up, just like not that I want to visualize it, but
Yeah.
like did she just like jump on the bed and squat? Like
Probably.
like,
Ew, yeah.
so
And why
bad.
would that be your like maybe do it on the pillow?
Yeah.
You know, because then if you're on the bed, then what if it like seeps through? Like, ew.
Disgusting.
Yeah. So that's I haven't really heard anything else that's going on. Just
Yeah,
seeing
I
on
mean they
TikTok.
just had like a totally toxic relationship.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And I think it's funny that that she's trying to sue him.
no, so
But-
she sued him already for like domestic abuse.
Mm.
And I have no idea. I think she lost. Like, I don't think there was enough proof, but I don't
Yeah.
remember. But basically, he's now suing her for defamation because he's saying, like, because of her claims, he can't get jobs anymore because nobody wants to hire him because he's this, like, supposed, like, woman beater. But, like, their relationship was very toxic and it went both ways. And now his claims are basically that she was actually more abusive than he was and that he was just, like, protecting himself.
Oh, interesting. Oh. Well, there you have
And
it.
she actually is bigger than him, which I think is a red flag in itself because you and I both know you don't date men that are smaller than you.
Yeah. Unless if they're short kings. And it's short king summer.
Like Tom Hiddleston or whatever his name is.
Or Cody Co.
Oh, okay. I'm not a Cody Co girl, but I know you are.
Yeah. But you kind of are, just by knowing me.
Yeah, okay.
By relation.
There's a few out there that are, as you would say, short kings, but otherwise it's tall basketball players.
Yeah. Well, that was like going around on TikTok, like Short King Summer.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's like, okay, Short Kings is trademarked by Cody Co. and Noel Miller, so you can't just like go around saying that willy-nilly.
Well, so I never like was attracted to, it's Tom Hiddleston, right?
Yeah.
The one with Zendaya?
Yeah.
Spider-Man. But now that he's with Zendaya, everyone's like, he's hot because like Zendaya's the most amazing woman in the world. So like if she likes him, then that means he's great. But I'm more of a Jacob Elordi kind of girl.
I think and I completely agree with that statement, and I would say that same. Jacob Elordi forever.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I did also like in Euphoria because Nate was Jacob Elordi. Like, I couldn't help but love him.
Oh, same. I know. Everyone hates him, like, thinks he's the worst person in the world. But can you also love the worst person in the world? Because he's so hot. And, like, it's not his fault he's fucked up.
Yeah, and I think that, like, you know, there is deep down maybe, like, a kind soul.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he, like, went out of his way to help Jules at the end of the season.
Exactly. So I think we're misled on who the real Nate Jacobs is. Yeah. Because Jacob Elordi is playing him, so.
But we do also love Fez.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Who, you know, if you think about it, like, everyone loves Fez and hates Nate, but Fez is also a horrible person who deals drugs.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
Killed someone.
Exactly.
So, it's just funny how, like, he's, like, beloved and he is.
Yeah. Like, kind of double standard, but then also not in a way.
Yeah. I mean, I think people just, like, more blatantly see that, like, Fez grew up, like, in a really horrible environment. That's why he is the way he is, but it's the same for Nate Jacobs.
Yeah.
Just don't see it.
He just was rich.
Because he's rich.
Yeah. And had that normal family structure. But,
But, like, knew his dad was, like,
weird. And had a secret.
Yeah, exactly.
Secret Central. Have you? Anyways, that was a commercial on Mean Girls on the DVD. And I just like, you know, that's just one of those things that pops in my brain anytime something happens.
So Montana has been watching all the like 2000s like epic like chick
Mean Girls
movies,
type.
Mean Girls and Legally Blonde.
She's the man.
And I thought of another one the other day, and now I forget what it was.
Okay,
but
well,
I thought of one that you like have to watch, so I'm gonna have to try to remember.
Yeah. I'm watching them with my cousin who's 13, who hasn't seen any of them, and I was definitely younger when you were watching them, and I would just watch them too because it would either be in the car or we had a TV that it would work in your room, and then I would just be able to see exactly whatever was going on in your room, but I wouldn't be able to change it. So if you were watching anything,
that's what you were watching.
Yeah.
I know. I remember I used to have to like be careful when I watched at night. Like I couldn't watch like MTV music videos because then they would like be playing in her room with all the swear words.
But then if you left it on MTV, then in the morning the countdown of like MTV music videos would play in the morning, and that's how I like found out about Natasha Bedingfield. And I would play it like so loud in the morning getting ready. Okay, anyways, I could just go on and on. I think we should jump into our little interview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So my sister is a RN at Marin General, correct?
It's called Marin Health.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Rebrand. And I'm just, you know, I know a lot about what you do, but I guess I don't really know all the ins and outs. And, maybe we have some people that are curious of our like few viewers that we may get. So I'm just kind of gonna want to talk to you and ask you more about what you do.
Okay.
First question. Have you known or did you know all along that you wanted to be a nurse?
Yes, I'd say so. My mom's a nurse, and so like growing up, I thought it was cool like have a mom that was a nurse, and I knew it was like a good job that I could just like go to college and get a job once I graduated. So I think that always appealed to me. And then I'm also like very like maternal. I like to take care of people. I'm very like OCD perfectionist, so I think that it was a good fit for me. And then once I like went to nursing school, I knew that I loved it. So I did not always know I wanted to be an ER nurse.
Right.
I did not think ER was for me. I always wanted to be an intensive care unit nurse. And then in nursing school, I got to do my senior preceptorship in the ER, and I loved it. So that's where I'm still at now, 10 years later.
Fabulous. And I remember because it was the longest, hardest word I had ever heard of at the time, but you wanted to be an anesthesiologist for a minute, right?
Nurse anesthetist.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
Same thing. It's the nurse version of an anesthesiologist.
And so when did you want to do that and how long did that last?
So I wanted to do that all through high school. So my plan was like to go to school, be an graduate, be an ICU nurse for 2 years, and then go back to school to be a nurse anesthetist. And then I graduated, and I realized that you like make really good money just being a nurse in the Bay Area, and to go back to school to be a nurse anesthetist is like a 2.5 year like very intensive program. You can't work, and then it's mostly private schools that offer it, so you go into like a ton of student loan debt to go back to the program. So I'm like, why would I stop working for essentially 3 years,
Yeah.
pay all this student loan debt, and then like to have a different job when I like my current job and I make good money?
Yeah.
So that kind of was like what swayed me.
Yeah. And I think you made a great choice. And I've never seen you at work, but I hear a lot about it, and I think that you're in the right spot. So that's good. Okay, so I know you have incredibly long days, and every day is different. Do you have a favorite memory or something that's like so crazy that's happened?
I mean, the crazy things that stick out to me aren't necessarily like good things. I
Yeah.
mean, so the best things are like when I have patients that are like super thankful, and they'll say things like if I'll say I'm about to go home, like my shift ends at 7, they'll be like, "Oh no, like I wish we could take you with us, Adrian. Like we love you." Like that always like seriously makes my day because it's like this. That's how I would want to feel if I was a patient. I would really want to like my nurse and like feel well cared for by my nurse. So when patients like express that to me, it's like the best.
Yeah.
But the craziest things that stick out to me are like, I would say definitely crazy trauma patients, specifically like crazy like pediatric traumas.
Do you have like a
Yeah, so we had one time that was like a individual that shot themselves in the head twice, and like you could just see like straight into their face,
oh my god.
and that was pretty insane. And then we had another one time that was like a kid who was very badly injured in an accident, and we gave them 21 units of blood products. So a unit is like a bag of blood products. So usually you give someone one or two, and we gave this person 21 units, and like the family was in there like having their priest like give the patient their last rites and stuff, and it was like really insane. But he lived, so that was really cool.
Wow. That is cool and crazy.
Yeah.
And I know you have a lot of patients that like are just so sweet and kind of like touch your heart. But I also know that you have a lot that are the exact opposite and are terrible. And you are in customer service, like at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any crazy stories about like just crazy people?
I mean, yes, every day. Like,
what's your favorite one?
So I definitely have been called like racist a million times, which really bothers me because I am not racist at all. But like, there's literally been times where I've like told someone they can't have a sandwich because it's like the doctor's order that they can't eat, and then because of that, like I'm accused of being racist. That I hate because it really like gets me because it's not true.
Yeah.
Definitely get called like swear words all the time, mean names. I've had stuff thrown at me. I've had probably the very worst is being like taking care of male patients that have been very like sexually inappropriate with me, and that just like makes you feel so gross. I actually, yeah, have had a few situations like that. So now I'm much more like upfront about asking for like a male doctor or nurse to like be with me if it's a patient that I think is going to be inappropriate or has been inappropriate.
That's good.
Yeah, I'd say those are the worst. Or just like I've had people like threaten to call their lawyer, things like that.
Yeah, that's lovely. You don't have a lot of babies ever, do you?
We take care of babies, but usually they're not that sick. Like usually it's like new parents that are worried because they vomited once or they had a fever or something. I mean, yeah, we do get sick babies, but not as often.
Yeah, that's good. Although
most of our clientele are like over the age of 70.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good source of need for medication and hospitalization.
Yeah.
Okay, and what else do we want to know about what you do?
I'd say like one of the funnest things about being an ER nurse is just like the bond you make with the people you work with. So like the doctors and the nurses and the techs are all super close, and we all like can just like joke with each other about crazy stuff. Like as morbid as it sounds, like even if like someone dies, like we might be like joking about it. Like that sounds horrible, and we're not actually like joking about the fact that someone died, but like we will try to find humor in anything because it's how we cope.
Because you're literally
we see lots of absolutely horrible things. So not saying that we joke about like the death itself, but like maybe something that happened, like if Adrian could have like given that fluid faster, like just like joking around. And anybody else on the outside would not think it's funny whatsoever, but we just like really have this bond and we all like lean on each other and take care of each other. Like if we can see that someone's like really busy, we'll like put our stuff aside to go help them. We do like happy hours and camping trips and all kinds of stuff together, which is really fun. And I really like the ER because the doctors kind of treat the nurses as equals and not like that we're inferior to them. So we're really collaborative, and the nurses have like a lot of autonomy, which I like.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
I do want to talk with you about one of your, would it be friends, somebody you know? Stephanie, we'll call her Stephanie. Call them.
A friend of a friend.
Yeah. Okay, so to describe Stephanie, it is somebody that you know, friend of a friend, whatever. But you tell me about their stories and what's going on because your friend tells you because they don't have anyone to share with because it's like Stephanie's personal life.
Yeah.
So
Stephanie's personal life is a little wild.
Yeah. And so Stephanie is insane. And it's like the most fun story time ever. Like
when like tell our parents about Stephanie just because like nobody can relate to her and she has such a wild like love life essentially.
Like Stephanie is a main character in our lives, just of like her own life that we like talk about.
Never met her.
I've never met her. I kind of know what she looks like, but I just love hearing her stories. And I was just wondering if we could just kind of talk a little bit about like a favorite story or something without like giving too much detail to like not give it away. Not that
not the Stephanie
but just in case.
She basically was in like an incredibly toxic marriage. Where her husband was literally insane. Like he got put on a like psych hold at one point. In this like an ER, not our ER, thank God. But he was like so crazy, and she basically had to like just like make him move out because she was like so done. But it was like very toxic, and like all her friends had to like help give her the like strength and like bravery to like leave him. But then she like immediately got into like another really toxic relationship, and
which gave a lot of content.
And that guy like turned her life upside down also. So it's just really been like a crazy ride.
Oh,
and
yeah.
now she's like serial dating.
Mhm.
So we get no new relationships yet, thank God, because I don't think she can handle it. But
No.
it's like basically a new date every day.
And
So I'm really wondering where she's going with this.
it really is like content in the form of just story times.
Yeah, like stories about the date. Like first it started out with stories about the crazy husband and how
Yeah.
he like one night like just like threw away like half of the stuff in their house. Like just took everything out to the curb, including the couch, threw away her Kindle, some of her clothes, a bunch of their kitchen shit, like threw it all out on the curb. Like so random. Who does that? A
Yeah.
crazy person does
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Then next it was like this like other relationship she got into as her
Mhm.
rebound, where like the guy was totally mistreating her, but she was in love with him.
Yeah,
and
and
she thought like she dropped everything in her life for him, and he clearly
did not.
was not in it for the right reasons.
No.
And so like I knew that, but she like couldn't get it through her head.
No, and she is definitely the type of person that she doesn't see it or believe it until it's her own idea.
Yeah.
Like it has to be her thoughts, her idea, and then once she has it herself, which it's not, then she's like, "Oh yeah, okay."
Yeah. So luckily, like both those toxic men are finally out of her life, and I
Oh,
think
yeah.
she's like chilling out. But it definitely was like a new story every day for a while there.
Yeah. I always thought that would have been the best podcast to
just about her life every
yeah,
day.
just every time we had updates, just to record what was going on, because some of the stories were just like too good.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go into them because I don't want to
A
give
lot
it
of
away.
them are also inappropriate.
Yeah, and they're so like specific and niche that if we like started talking about it, like it would be obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not trying to be mean to Stephanie. We support her.
Yeah, we want what's best for her, which is like that's why it was so frustrating because like
she couldn't
I
listen.
knew what was like I knew what she was doing was wrong and like not good for her, and if she couldn't like figure it out on her own till it was too late.
Yeah, and we do want what's best for her, but she has to decide that on her own. Yeah, and it takes a while.
Yeah, I think she's doing better now.
Yeah, that's good.
She did like almost get scammed. Did I tell you this about like guys on Hinge?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like all these like foreign guys were like writing her on Hinge, like wanting to date.
Yeah.
And then they would all like I guess immediately ask for her phone number because they didn't want to chat on the app. And then like one of them was just like chatting with her and then like immediately started talking to her about buying like cryptocurrency and how she thought she should buy cryptocurrency, and she was telling like me and our other mutual friend about it, and I was like, this sounds like a scam. So I literally just Googled Hinge cryptocurrency, and like the first one that came up was like 10 articles from the last week. So they were recent articles talking about how these guys on Hinge are conning women into buying like fake cryptocurrency, and they're not even in America. Like these people are just pretending to be in San Francisco or whatever. And so I sent that to her, and she was like, "Oh, holy shit!" And I was like, "Hey, like you gotta be careful."
Yeah, exactly. And isn't that like rule one of online dating, online doing anything, is be so incredibly aware and like
don't give anybody money for anything.
No, unless it's a prince that lost all of his money and
Is
really needs help.
Tinder swindler?
No, but that's like the most common like generalization of scammers. Like, oh, I'm a prince and all of my fortune's gone, but once you give me this money, then like we'll be together forever.
Well, that's like that woman that I nannied for in college. So that would be like 12 years ago. I couldn't help myself, and I would read her online chat room conversations with her online boyfriend every day. I was like 19.
Yeah.
So I like couldn't wait to get to her house in the morning because I would hop on her computer, which had no password protection, and I would read her online conversations with her online boyfriend. And he was conning her so bad. He was saying that he was like this like wealthy guy from France, currently on a construction job in Africa, and he would send her photos of himself that were so clearly photoshopped.
And she fully was like believing it.
Oh yeah, and he would like send her gifts that were like the cheesiest gifts ever, like a what are those like fruit baskets?
Edible arrangements.
Edible arrangements, yeah, with like some like cheesy like fake gold necklace. And then one time, like I knew he was fake, like I knew from the photos and stuff, and he sent a picture of himself like in like a Corvette, and it was like so clearly like the face he had used from a previous photo, then like copied and pasted onto like this man in a Corvette.
Oh my god.
And one time I like was reading it and he was talking about how his computer broke and where he was working in Africa, Apple doesn't ship to them. So he was wondering if she could buy him a new iMac and ship it to him at his job site in Kenya or Nicaragua or where he was. And then I was reading this like, oh my god, she's got to know this is fake. Like
Yeah.
he wanted her to buy it with her money because he said like, oh, Apple won't take my credit card, like all these excuses.
Right, because Apple doesn't want your money.
And he said, and I'll pay you back when I get back to America or France or wherever. And I was reading this thinking like, oh my god, she is being so conned. The next morning when I get to her house, she has a MacBook or iMac, huge box that she's like wrapping up with like shipping paper and writing the address on it. So she literally bought it. And then she also, I guess, like invested in his business. One day I saw like a contract. This is like such a real story. There was like a contract printed up on her printer and it was like, I blank, like I'm investing this money into so-and-so's business, and it was $10,000.
Oh my god.
So he contracted a lot of money, and I never got to see the end of it because summer ended and I didn't nanny for them anymore.
Oh my god.
But she was like a single mom, like with a good job, and who totally got taken advantage of.
That's crazy. Yeah. And it's so funny because I feel like we have really good common sense to where we would know right away if they were fake or not. Yeah. But it's just some people, or I don't even know, like you don't think of it, or you know, you think
like blinded by the
possibility
this is somebody that I could like live my life with.
Exactly. Or just like, oh, it wouldn't happen to me. You know, I'm too smart.
Or he's like too perfect. Like, no, that's not him. Like, he's not conning me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when you've never even met them and they're asking you for all this money.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fake.
No, that's just
like
weird.
$10,000.
That's insane. Seriously. Oh my god. Okay, well on that note, should we give some advice?
Yeah, let's do the advice section.
Okay, so we had a caller call in, which really is just somebody writing in on my Instagram story. But I like to say caller, it's fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
I know. They were wondering, how do I phrase it correctly?
You said that they were wondering, like, is it worth it to spend your money on traveling right now that the pandemic is like kind of like sort of ending,
over, yeah.
People are allowed to travel again, so they're wondering, like, I've been saving up all this money to buy a house, but now I'm thinking about traveling more, and is it worth it to like spend my savings on traveling versus just buy like keeping my money to buy a house?
Yeah, basically like young 20s, has money, wants to buy a house, but also wants to travel. What do they do? Better to give advice on that than us, because I'm young 20-something who loves to travel, and you are a homeowner who also loves to travel.
I guess I would say do both.
Yeah.
But I did start traveling before I bought a house.
Okay.
My husband and I have been traveling like basically since we met.
Let's backtrack. So when was your first like travel experience like more global outside the country?
As a kid, like my mom always took me to Mexico like once a year almost. So that was always fun. But like I know some families go to Hawaii. We never went to Hawaii. We went to Mexico. And then when I was a teenager, I went to Europe with my mom. That was fun. But my mom always traveled like every year. She would go on a big trip, but usually with friends. So I would stay home. And then
How old were you when you went there?
To Europe, I was 15.
Okay.
So then I didn't really travel again until I finished nursing school. So 21 years old, my husband and I went on our first trip together, which was Mexico. And I think the next year we went to Mexico again. And then after that, I was like, okay, like we're good travel partners. Let's start like broadening this. So we went to Dominican Republic, which was much further.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
I remember hearing about that.
Never take Ambien on a plane. Side note.
Okay, good to know. I was planning on that actually for next week.
So then after that, we ended up like going to Asia like the next year. And we ended up going to Asia for like 4 years in a row. Different parts.
Where?
So we did Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, and Japan.
Okay.
And then unfortunately the next year, I believe after Japan, we were supposed to go to Bali and the pandemic hit. Like we were supposed to go to Bali in April of 2020. So that didn't happen. Oh no, I skipped one. We went to Colombia and Aruba for our honeymoon in 2019. So Japan was 2018, Colombia and Aruba 2019. Then we were supposed to go to Bali in 2020. We didn't go. But we ended up traveling all over America, the west side of America in the pandemic. We did 2 different road trips to like
Mhm.
national parks.
Mhm.
That was fun. And then last year we went to Greece in August,
Yeah.
and then this year we're going back to Europe. So
Perfect. Okay.
and we just budget. So like we bought
Well, when did you get your house?
so we bought our house in 2015. So I would say we did like a little bit cheaper travel prior to that, which was like
Mhm.
Thailand and Vietnam, which are like fairly inexpensive places to go, really.
Yeah.
So like those trips are no more expensive than going to Mexico, and probably cheaper than going to Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I'd say like if you're young and you're wanting to travel, like look at inexpensive travel. Like I've heard Portugal is really affordable
Yeah.
to go to.
I've
I
been
know
there.
you've been.
Mhm.
And so you can keep saving for a house or like keep some of your savings and continue saving while also traveling because I think it's really good to travel like before you have kids.
Yeah. So I have been to 10 countries, including
wow.
America.
I don't know how many I've been. I think it's like 15.
That's one of my two truths or a lie fact.
Oh, that's good.
So I know of that.
And you did inexpensive travel.
Yeah.
So you're like a good.
So I've been to, I don't even know, but Italy mostly, and then France mostly. But I also went to Portugal, and Barcelona. We went to Lisbon in Portugal and Barcelona in Spain. And both of those were pretty inexpensive, especially compared to like France, just because France is incredibly expensive. And I was lucky enough to go in 2019 on a month-long trip with one of I call him my brother cousin Zach. I don't know when this episode will be done. You'll either have already met him or will meet him. But we went for a month around Europe and to London also with two of his friends. And I was pretty much the main planner of that. Him and the friends kind of gave me ideas of where they wanted to go, but I was in charge of budgeting, doing all of that. And I think that was like the only time I've budgeted and stuck to it because I'm not, I don't know how, money doesn't make sense to me. It's just, I don't even get it, which I know you know.
Yeah.
So I guess where I'm going with that is like traveling is so important. And whether you do it alone or with friends or whatever, it's just like experiences that you're never going to be able to have again or recreate in a different way. Which I think is really important. And also, it just shows you that like there's other things going on than where
there's so much in the world,
like we're from a really small town, so we're really fortunate to have been able to see the rest because some people like stay in town and don't leave, which you know,
even just living in the Bay Area is like such a change.
Yeah, like those people like want to or whatever, you know. We love our hometown homies, but I don't know. I think that it's really important to travel, even if you're just you start off traveling in America to like go do stuff and see different parts of the world.
Yeah. When we did our road trips, like we actually had so much fun. Like we did Utah and Arizona, and it was so fun. Like, and it was like very different than California. So like that was cool. And honestly, like I'm really glad we did it, and it's something we'll probably do again, like someday with kids. I think. But we are just like trying to do as much traveling as possible before we have kids. Because like my older sister, who's not related to Montana, long story.
My sister's sister.
She never traveled before having kids, and now she like so badly wants to travel, but she's like it costs twice as much when you have 2 kids and have to buy plane tickets for them and then food for them, and like they don't want to do everything. You can't like go on like date nights.
You can't go to the museums and just like slowly walk around or whatever. Or if you want to leave them, then you have to have like a family member stay with them while you go on vacation. And then it's like, does that always work out?
Yeah,
I don't know.
But like Xander and I, my husband and I, have always like wanted to go to Europe, specifically Italy. But we've always said like, let's go when we have more money. Let's go when we have more money. Like it's expensive. So that's why like earlier on we did like the more inexpensive travel when we were trying to buy a house. And then now this year we're finally going to Italy, which I'm so excited about.
Yeah, and that'll be really fun. Where else are you going?
Paris. Paris for 5 days and then Italy for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's going to be like the longest trip we've ever gone on.
Oh, wow. So I guess, I don't know. I don't know how to save money. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. Like, why would you get a house when you could just rent an apartment, which, it's not yours, but, you can just like move wherever you want, live whatever you want, do whatever you want.
Wait till you're ready to settle.
Yeah.
To save up and buy a house.
Yeah, because I'm 22 right now. I could not even think about saving money to buy a house soon.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just not even in my 5-year plan, I don't think.
Yeah. You have to like figure out like where you're gonna live and work and
exactly.
stuff after school.
But you are like, your job is here, your husband's here,
his
family's
here.
Yeah, and you knew before you got the house that was something that you guys wanted to do.
Yeah.
To where you had more.
Yeah. We also moved
plans.
like where our apartment was in the city and it was pretty expensive, so we moved out of the city to have cheaper rent to save for another year or two before we bought the house, and that was actually a big move. We were able to save like an extra $1,000 a month towards our down payment.
That's good. So yeah, advice. Travel, definitely. You just like
go to Asia is so cool.
You just gain so much more like worldly views, opinions, thoughts. Like the world is huge. There's so much more out there than like what you see on your daily or like.
Yeah. To me, it just like makes me a happier person. Like to travel or know that I have a trip to look forward to.
Definitely. That's always the best.
Yeah. And it's just like knowing that you've been these places, like you become like that annoying person that tells everyone about like your trips.
Exactly.
They're just jealous.
Even if you're not a world traveler, you just like travel and go do stuff. It's still like so much fun. I love airports. Like I love getting ready. I have to be at the airports. And I have to be at the airport like 10 hours early because I want to just like walk around and look at everything. Oh, I know, because you guys
I like layovers because you're there. And like I like exploring airports that way, but like getting to the airport earlier never happens for us.
Yeah, I know. And we are called the Late Leahy's, which I think is Late McNally's now too. Yeah. But
for sure,
layovers I hate. I want to be direct there, so that's why
we're flying direct to Paris.
Ooh,
really
that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's nice.
But I like walking around the airport before and just like seeing whatever, or doing
duty free shopping.
Oh yeah, that's the best.
I'm always like a total like stress ball.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I travel. Why not? Like you have nothing to lose other than some money, but it's not really like you're losing it because you're gaining an experience.
Yeah. And like look at these like precious like 2 years we just lost. Like we traveled. So do it when you can.
Yeah. Like you couldn't really do anything, which was nice, but still, travel. That's our advice.
Yep.
Do it. Buy a house later when you're rich.
And like houses are really expensive right now, so maybe hold off.
Yeah, and that's if you can even like find a realtor and like find something on the market.
Like I want to sell our house because it's worth so much more now, but then like we wouldn't be able to afford
You're not
to
gonna
buy
find
anything else.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna stay in our house.
Perfect. Okay, well, I think that wraps the advice segment, which also wraps the episode.
Okay. This
so
was fun.
I know. Thank you for being my co-host.
You're welcome. This was fun.
I know. We should do it again. It was great to have you on. I love talking with you. I'm glad we finally got to talk and catch up and just talk about other random stuff too. Well, thank you so much, Adrian. Sister.
I was gonna say never.
I know, Adrian. No, it's sister.
Doesn't sound right coming out of your mouth.
No, I know. Whenever I talk to Xander and he's like, "Oh, is she here?" and I'm like, "Who, Adrian?" It's like, "What?" I'm like, "It's sister."
Yeah.
Well, thank you, sister, for being my co-host. It was great. It was wonderful. This has been another episode of Moments with Montana. You will see it soon, maybe. There might be another episode to come. I don't know at all. I don't really know anything about the order or where I'm posting them or anything. So just, stay tuned. We'll figure it out.